Yes, we can.
I don't know why my picture is there in this presentation, but yeah, that's how university decided. They wanted to scare first and then get into the good things. So hi everyone, my name is Akshay and I look after India, Nepal, Bangladesh, pretty much entire South Asia. Have been working into this domain almost for 6 years now. Started as a counselor with IDP, then was looking after UK. I was looking after 10 colleges in UK. Then from there came back to US, my first love, and looking after University of Idaho now. I'll start with the location of the university. We are located towards the northwestern part. Within Idaho, we are located in Moscow, and it's not in Russia, it's in US, this Moscow, please don't confuse. Our campus is alcohol free majorly, so you won't be getting any Russian vodka or anything, and it's smoke free also. So anyone who is looking out for genuinely good education and not a party school, Idaho is a place where you will see your future booming really well. Seattle is a port of entry, so anyone coming into Idaho would be coming in via Seattle. It's 1 hour flight from the university, the airport, or it's 5 hours car drive. And if you'll see the map, we are quite centrally located. So California, Nevada, Montana, Oregon, Utah, Wyoming, or even Canada on the upper side. We are very close by to all the major cities, so one can easily move around. Right? Basic about the university, we were founded in 1889, have been there for 130 years. We are a premium land grant research focused public university, and our annual funding on research is almost $111.6 million. Joe Vandal is a mascot, so anyone who comes in as a future Vandal or as a student to the university would be seeing him every now and then on campus. Scott Green is our current president. He is an alumni of the university. After doing his studies in University of Idaho, he went into Harvard, completed his master's, worked for a few years, then came back to lead the university. As of 2019, our enrollments were almost 12,000. The best part was our male to female ratio was almost equal. Though it's not a deciding factor or it does not come in as a compelling factor, but it does ensure that everyone is welcomed in Idaho and we treat everyone equal. If we say for undergrad majors, we have 93 undergrad majors to offer. And the best part being in Idaho is the class size. We offer a really small class size, which is 15 is to 1 student, which literally means you won't be feeling homesick. You would be feeling homesick, but we'll take care of that. But something which is known as cultural shock or the feeling of getting lost coming into US, that would not be there. The professors are really good and they would be knowing you by your face. Some basics about the university. We are fifth safest state in the US, and within Idaho, Moscow is the safest place to be in. Our average mid-career salary is $95,000, and we have been ranked as one of the best university when it comes to return on investment. We do not participate in rankings being a public university, yet we come in top 100 public universities in the US. Moscow, the town itself is very beautiful. It's very pretty and is majorly university dominant area. In fact, Palos, the region where university is located, there are two major universities. One is University of Idaho. Second one is Washington State Universities. So entire campus is having, or the entire town has the campus feel. It's very vibrant and you would see a lot of culture, lot of students in and around the place. We are quite diverse. We have 170 plus clubs, including Geek Society or including Naples Society. In fact, Naples Society is so big in Idaho, they run their own scholarships and they run their own grants. So any Naples student coming into the university, he qualifies for getting scholarships from that department itself. Then we have computer science department. We have outdoor activities. Now we are not a party school, so outdoor activities is something which our students really enjoy. We have really good skiing, we have rafting, we have rock climbing, we have mountain biking. There are ample of activities which one can indulge into. Students in the past, in the near future, we are sure they would be. They have been placed in companies like Amazon, Boeing, CHS, Shivani, SEL, Microsoft, Twitter, and many more like Intel. So these are few of the companies who have been recruiting our students for quite some time now and regularly. Uh, Co-op, something which all undergrad students look out for these days, is easily available with University of Idaho in the engineering department. If any one of you is coming in for engineering, the co-op amount working for the 6 months, which you can look in for, would be somewhere around 18 to 28,000, and on an average, one get paid 21.90 per hour. The student in the picture, Oshun Karki, he came in for computer science. He did his co-op with Idaho Forest Group into computer science automation and did really well. Few of the departments with us are agriculture, art and design, business, communication, education, engineering, health, social sciences. So pretty much everything which students look out for. This student, particularly something unique about Idaho, is we allow our undergrad students to participate in any of the ongoing research. Vishal Thapa from Nepal is one of the premium example of this approach towards studies. He not only being an undergrad student, he not only qualified for $5,000 research fellowship, but there is something known as Grand Challenge Scholars Program. 122 universities participate in this course, and Vishal was able to even successfully score a funding of $3,500 in that program. And if you'll just read his testimonial, he was happy to share that being allowed to participate research at undergrad level really helped him in, developing more focus towards the research part. She is one of our alumni from India, Yashashri Shashwat. After marriage, the name has changed. She mastered in electrical engineering and has been working in Intel since then. Even she shares that a small class size with one-on-one attention was really helpful. And anyone who is looking out, she's in California, so anyone looking out for opportunities in California or in and around, Yashashri is always happy to help any of the vandal. Admission requirements. I'm just running through the slides. Let me know if you have anything or you want me to go slow. But yeah, admission requirements, we have quite simple admission requirements. We do not ask for SAT, but if someone has SAT, we can look in SAT as a IELTS or TOEFL waiver. We need 10th, 11th, and 12th as a mandate requirement. For getting into non-engineering courses, we need 60%, and for getting into engineering courses, we need 65%. There is no application fee, there is no acceptance deposit. Just you need to go online, create your portal, file in your application, share your documents with Krishna, and Krishna can share with me, and we can get back to you with the decision. Right? Affordable tuition is something which we are really working closely, monitoring closely, and trying to reduce it at as much as possible. In the coming slide, you will see about the scholarships and our vision, how we are further reducing the cost. Without scholarship, this is the I-20 which anyone would be getting in. So if someone comes into the university and is not getting any scholarship, they would be shelling out 27,840 as the tuition fee, and the I-20 would be 41,356. Right. Now the important part, the scholarship. Anyone who comes in with 65% in class 12 would qualify for yearly scholarship of 15,084, which is 54% of your annual tuition fee, which means after the scholarship, the tuition fee would go down to 12,756, which means potentially 6,378 per semester. So if someone has that low tuition fee and is working in co-op earning 25,000, they can pretty much cover their 2-year expense in the 6 months. Right? Part-time is pretty much guaranteed in Idaho. It depends on options, opportunities, and willingness of the student. But if someone is working part-time, they can earn close to $8,000 to $9,000, which again means pretty much of the living expense is covered with the part-time. This 15,000 scholarship is up till spring 21. For fall 21, we have this 15,000 plus addition of 4,540 on the living part, which simply implies that 50% of your living would be covered by the university. So any student who is looking out for fall 21, for them, the I-20 amount would be $21,732. The tuition fee would be 12,756, and the living expense would be 4,540. So that's pretty much about Idaho in a nutshell. And yeah, Krishna, over to you.
Thank you so much, Akshay, for that presentation. I think what was very, very, interesting was I think there were some, that Nepali alumni,
Yes.
which that some of our
Vishal Thapa.
students could directly, relate to, and the kind of scholarships we have been working with University of Idaho for I would say like 3-4 years now, and then the kind of that. The scheme that you have for scholarship, I think this is going to be very, very interesting for the potential students for sure, right? So I have already got some questions, so as I said, we are going to take those questions at the end of the sessions. For all of you, you can still type the questions. So I would request now Mr. Joe to start the presentations.
All right, perfect. All right. Thank you for that help. Okay, well, hello again. My name is Joe, and I'm from the University of Toledo. I'm the Assistant Director of International Admission, and one of my roles is to work with students abroad through the application to enrollment with the University of Toledo. I've been in higher ed admissions for over 20 years, and with the University of Toledo for the past 6 years. So as we kind of give you some information in regards to our student population, we have over 16,000 undergraduate students, ranging from over 40 states in the US and over 80 countries abroad. So we feel we're a very well diverse university based off of the number of countries that we have represented currently on campus. What's unique about the University of Toledo is the fact that over 80% of our students are outside of the Toledo area. So we definitely feel that we have a niche and interest from students not only over the United States, but all over the world. You'll see a statistic there that shows that over 30% of our UT students are first in their family to actually attend college. And as I get a little bit further into my presentation, we'll talk about the layers of student support that we have in place for those students who are attending first in their family at a US institution. So the next slide that we'll talk about is exploring our academic options. With the University of Toledo, we have over 120 different undergraduate majors that students can choose from. Throughout my slides, I will focus in 3 areas: engineering, business, and natural science, as well as mathematics. We have a lot of our international students that will come for those 3 specific areas of concentration. As mentioned before, engineering, we'll talk a little bit more, and we're very similar to University of Idaho in regards to their structure for the co-ops and or internships. The University of Toledo is considered a STEM college, which concentrates in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But as you can see on the slide, we offer other majors and other concentrations outside of those specific areas. So as I speak with students and families, we really focus about the hands-on learning through the various components you see on the screen with our undergraduate research, the job opportunities, as well as the co-ops and internships with our engineering and our business programs. What's really unique about the Toledo, Ohio area is the fact that we have a large number of Fortune 500 companies pretty much in our backyard. So for students for their co-op and internship opportunities, they really don't have to go far outside of the Toledo area to assist with those internships and co-ops. And what's really nice is the fact that a lot of these institutions that you see on the screen definitely love to work with our international student population. So this is why you'll see specific companies that are listed on that screen in front of you. So first we'll talk about the College of Engineering. So as mentioned before, in regards to the engineering programs, the University of Toledo offers 2 different routes: engineering science and engineering technology. Simply stated, students that are very, very knowledgeable in math and science generally go towards the science route. Students that more are comfortable with the hands-on experimentation area in engineering definitely will go towards the technology route. Most of the programs that we have through our College of Engineering, you'll have the hands-on lab experience. So you'll take what you learn in class and then apply it to the hands-on lab. Then you'll take that next phase and taking what you learned in the lab and applying it to your internship and co-op experience. And with the University of Toledo, we offer up to 1 year of paid co-op experience for our engineering science students. Our engineering technology students have an opportunity to co-op, but it's not required for them to actually graduate. A few years back, we had one of our mechanical engineering technology students, Mr. Tom. He actually created the grip mat and was actually on Shark Tank. And 3 investors actually landed a deal for Mr. Tom's invention. He is by trade an Air Force mechanic, and a lot of his tools were slipping off of the curvatures of the planes. So he created this grip mat and definitely had some opportunities to showcase his skills on the TV show. With the recent COVID, he's actually now working with hospitals and other service industries to help with their services with the grip mat. And I was just told about a few weeks ago that Tom has earned over $4 million in sales just last year for his grip mat invention. So definitely the University of Toledo has opportunities like Mr. Tom in creating and developing products. So the next thing we'll talk about is our College of Business and Innovation. What's unique about the University of Toledo is we offer 13 different concentrations that students can choose from within our College of Business. Again, mentioned earlier before, the internship opportunities, the hands-on learning, and the various seminars that we have available for our students to take what they learn in class and apply it to that hands-on learning and applying it and learning more information about our professional seminars. We have Spangler candy, and as I travel abroad, I usually try to look in the different stores throughout the different cities, and I know that Dum-Dums are popular across the world. Spangler is actually headquartered here in Ohio. And what's unique about Spangler candy is our students have opportunities for co-op and internships with Spangler. Those of you that are familiar with the mystery flavor, this kind of ties into our engineering focus. As we know with factories and production, you don't want to stop the assembly line. So what Spangler had assisted with an engineering individual was to keep the line going as they're changing flavors. So what they did was they created the mystery flavor wrapper. That way, if it says cherry, it was cherry. If it was root beer, it was root beer. But if it was mystery flavor, it was that go-between in between the different flavor changes. And that saved Spangler Candy about $3 million for that year once they introduced the mystery flavor. The next area we'll talk about is our natural science and mathematics area. Again, hands-on experience, research in this area is really, really popular with our international as well as our domestic students. Those that may be interested in physics or astronomy, we have our own Ritter Planetarium that is on campus for students that are interested in the astronomy area. What's really unique about the University of Toledo with our undergraduate students, and this is just a testimonial from one of our students, is he was able to do research with a fellow graduate student. So students are able to work with our older student population that have an undergraduate major that are concentrating in their graduate program. So students are able to work with our graduate students on various research projects within the University of Toledo scheme of their program. And as I mentioned, and as it's a constant, just learning by doing, taking what you learn in class, applying it to labs, and applying it to real world life. So we do have the different levels of support services, but I really want to focus on our success coaches. A success coach at the University of Toledo will assist students outside of the class in assisting with various tutoring opportunities, extra studying outside of class, connecting with the Writing Center, correcting with our career services. And we have our own Center for International Studies and Programs specifically for the 1,600 plus international, or the 1,600 international students that we have on campus. So we're really proud to have these various levels of student support. As mentioned, over 400 different student organizations. So what we found is students, we know that education is important. We know that grades are very important. But what we want to make sure of is that you have a nice balance. Studies show that individuals that are being involved outside of class, grades increase and students stay in class longer, which shows the balance that students need to have inside and outside of class. So what's your next step if you're interested in the University of Toledo, working with Education First in regards to starting that application process? Just some fees total. So with the University of Toledo, we are part of the tuition guarantee. So students that come in their first year will have the same tuition cost over the years of their program. So if there is a fee increase, tuition increase, you as a University of Toledo will not be affected. You will have the same fees from year to year. Students that come directly from high school would need to be on campus for their first at least 2 years. Transfer students or gap students are able to live off campus when they start with the University of Toledo. As we know, scholarships are very important. So starting for fall of 2021, based off of a student's GPA, will determine then the level of scholarship. This comes directly from our international office. So students are able to apply for additional scholarships through their academic college based off of their major. So we will definitely assist and help students in making sure that they have those applications in on time for those additional scholarships. And if you're interested in more information or general information, there's a couple of different ways you can get a hold of me. So again, appreciate your listening. And if there's any questions about the University of Toledo, we will take care of that after Ms. Sarah's presentation about the University of Cincinnati.
Thank you so much, Joe, for that beautiful presentation. I think, say as you already know that, there's so many students who at times, they come up with the name of University of Toledo that, they are studying, my friend or my senior is studying at University of Toledo. So I think University of Toledo is very popular among the, that mass students. That's what I believe. So I think our students got, so much information regarding University of Toledo from you. As I'm repeating again, I think there are a few questions regarding University of Toledo. So I'm going to combine those questions and we will try to cover as much, we'll try to address as much questions as possible, as many questions as possible. But before Sarah's presentations, thank you so much, Sarah, waiting patiently, for past half an hour. So it's over to you. So you make a presentation. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Let me share my screen with you. All right. Can you see my screen? Hear me okay? All right. Wonderful. Just 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Well, again, my name is Sarah Mackey. I'm the Assistant Director of International Recruitment and Outreach here at the University of Cincinnati, and it's my pleasure to share more information with you today about our university. So we are the University of Cincinnati, and we are a large urban public research institution located in the Midwest region of the United States, in the same state as my friend Joe at University of Toledo. We are in the state of Ohio. We are a large university. We have just under 46,000 students on our 3 campuses. And of those students, approximately 3,500 of them are international students coming from over 115 countries. Our international students, by and large, are very happy at UC, and we boast a 96% retention rate for our international student population. We are classified as a Carnegie Research 1 university, which is a designation only 130 US universities in the US possess, which means that we are heavily focused and devote a lot of funding to research and innovation each year. We've also been ranked in the top 100 public universities by US News and World Report. But we know you have a lot of options. There are over 4,000 universities to choose from in the United States, but what really truly sets UC apart from other universities and what kind of defines our identity as a university is our focus on what we call experiential learning. This year we were ranked the #1 public school and #3 overall in the entire US for our co-op and internship programs. So I'll spend a large chunk of my presentation today focusing on what that looks like at UC. We have a lot of academic programs to choose from. As a large university, we have 11 colleges and more than 350 academic programs of study. The most popular among our international students definitely include the College of Engineering and Applied Science, which also houses our computer science, our College of Business, and our College of Arts and Sciences. We have internationally recognized faculty, a renowned university honors program, and while we are a very large university, we still benefit from those small class sizes. So especially as you get towards your major-based courses, your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th years, you'll see closer to that 16-to-1 student-faculty ratio. We also have a robust campus life. We are about 5 minutes from the urban core, the city center of Cincinnati. On our campus, we have 11 residence halls, and international students are required to live on campus for their first academic year. Our campus has a lot of different amenities, including a really fabulous recreation center, a lot of on-campus dining, as well as off-campus dining right around campus. And fun fact, my favorite Nepali restaurant in the entire city of Cincinnati is about a 5-minute bike ride from campus. It has the best momos, so if you choose UC, send me an email. I'll definitely let you know where the best Nepali food in Cincinnati is. We also benefit from a very safe campus environment. We have our own university police system and a lot of security measures in place to make sure that our students feel safe. Like Toledo and Idaho, you'll have a lot of opportunities to get involved. And as Joe mentioned, we find that students who are most successful at university are also involved in extracurricular organizations. So at UC, we have over 500 student organizations. These range from religious, cultural, social, academic, athletic in nature. Pretty much if you have an interest, there's likely already a student organization developed for you to participate in. We are also home to the NCAA Division I athletics program. Our mascot is the Bearcat, which means athletics plays a huge role in our campus life and in building that sense of school spirit. And while sporting events will look a bit different this year, it's our hope that in the coming years, things will go back to normal and you'll see more American football games with 20,000 people in the stands. So it's going to take some time to get back to that, but we're hopeful that in the future, that's what we'll return to. So moving on, we've asked our international students, why did you choose UC, or what has been the best experience for you while a UC student? And by and large, the 2 most popular answers are the city of Cincinnati itself and our co-op and internship programs that they've participated in. So I want to dive deeper into those topics. First, the city of Cincinnati. It may not be as internationally known, but it is very well known within the United States. It's considered a mid-sized American city. We are home to about 2.5 million people. It has a thriving arts, culture, dining, and nightlife scene. So you will definitely, as a Cincinnati student, have that more urban experience as part of just being within that urban core of Cincinnati. We're also home to 3 professional sports teams. So if you're not getting enough athletics on campus, you can catch an American football game or soccer game or baseball game in the city of Cincinnati. You also benefit from Cincinnati being a business hub. So 400 of the top largest 500 companies in the entire world have some kind of presence in Cincinnati. 9 of them have their global headquarters here. So when it comes time to participate in those internship or co-op opportunities, many of our students start right next door in Cincinnati with a local company. And lastly, for a large city, we are one of the most affordable cities in the US to live. So when it comes to rent, utilities, food, transportation, Cincinnati is a great option if you're looking for a more affordable city. And when you need to get out, we also benefit from being centrally located. So we have an international airport about 20 minutes drive from campus, and you can get really anywhere on the eastern half of the United States within an hour to 2-hour plane flight. The closest large American city is Chicago. It's about a 4.5-hour drive, and most of our international students at least once during their time at UC drive up to Chicago to kind of experience that big American city life. So moving on to co-op, I know Joe and Akshay talked a little bit about co-op, and I kind of wanted to go a little bit deeper and explain UC's co-op program. We actually invented co-op in 1906, and co-ops are a little bit different from internships. They are paid full-time employment that's related to your course of study and an integral part of your course curriculum. And at UC, some of our colleges and programs require co-op, like our engineering and our design colleges. Others have it as an optional component. And how it works is if it is required, so if you are an engineering, computer science, or design student, and you will be required to participate in co-op, it's actually 5 years to graduate. But during that time, you only actually go to classes and pay tuition 4 years, and the other 12 to 18 months, you'll be in your full-time employment co-op placement, making real money, building that valuable experience. We partner with over 1,800 companies, both in all 50 states in the United States and over 16 countries. You can see a few of the companies that we partner with on the right-hand side of my slide. BP, Nike, Disney. One of our former student workers in the International Admissions Office just got a placement at Tesla in San Francisco. So a lot of the large companies that you know and love, you'll have those opportunities to work with while you're still a student, which is great. The average earnings per rotation, so per 3 to 4 months that you're working for those companies, is about $10,000 US. And we find that our students who are in those required co-op programs earn between $40,000 and $60,000 before they even graduate. To give you an idea of the scope or how many students participate in co-op at UC, our students collectively earned over $75 million participating in co-op last year. So many students participate. It is very robust. We've been doing this for over 100 years, so we have a lot of infrastructure in place to help you find those co-op assignments and to help you earn money. And lastly, of course, outside of earning money, co-op is invaluable to you as an international student because you can build that experience on your resume, on your CV before you even graduate. Often, especially in like the STEM fields, many of our international students have job offers to participate in OPT before they even graduate because they are job offers from companies they've already co-opted at. So it is a really great place to be if your goal is to gain that valuable work experience either during or after your studies. So that being said, let's move on to cost. Our tuition is a little over $27,000 USD per year, with the total estimated I-20 cost or cost of living being just under $45,000 per year. We do have international student scholarships. They range from $1,000 per year to full tuition. Our average award last year was around $9,000, but I can tell you that maybe Krishna is just amazing at his job, or maybe it's Nepali students are very highly academically qualified, but most of our Nepali students, just based on their academic profile, we see scholarships ranging from $15,000 to $20,000 pretty frequently. So there is a lot of opportunity for scholarships, but also if you're in those co-op required programs, you need to factor in that you will probably make between $40,000 to $60,000, and that money you can use for your tuition. You can use, many students use it to buy a car, but you will have substantial earnings if you're in a co-op required program. There is no extra application to be eligible for our scholarship. We consider you for scholarship opportunities at the time of admission, so that's just something to keep in mind. If you are ready to apply, we are common application exclusive, so we require an essay, a writing, a supplement, and 2 letters of recommendation. We also require that you send in all of your documents to us through the Common App. So we need your high school transcripts. We are test optional for the fall 2021 intake, meaning you do not have to take the SAT, but we might encourage you to either take the SAT or other supplemental tests if you're interested in those top scholarship earnings. We have not quite determined how we are going to assess our top tier scholarship programs without the SAT. So we still might encourage that option if that's something that you are already interested in pursuing. So if you're interested in learning more about UC, I encourage you to work with Education First. And Krishna, please feel free to also follow us on our social media. We have a very active social media presence, and you can see all of our latest updates along with all of the fun events that we have on campus throughout the year. And that's all I have. Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Just one, thing to add. I think everybody from, Cincinnati seems to love Momo because, last time, I think 2 years back, when Charlie came, we talked about Momo a lot for, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes or 20 minutes kind of thing. So anyways, so thank you so much, Sarah, once again for your presentation. And to all the students, one common thing about all 3 universities who are present here in today's session is all of them offer co-op education. That's what most of the time students keep on asking about that kind of questions. I think that was really useful for you. So now what I'm going to do, Shera, Akshay, and Joe, is I'm going to take few questions. I think there are few very university specific questions, and there are very common questions which will be open to all of you. So I'll start taking the question. Let me go. So I think this one is for University of Idaho, Akshay. This is why do University of Idaho has in a way less graduation rate kind of thing. So do you have any thing to say?
Our official graduation rate is 90%, and for those 10%, we are sorry, some are like lost cases, but our official graduation rate is 90%. I mean, Google or US News, or there are ample of websites which can give you any data. But if you'll go on to University of Idaho's website, or if you'll check out any official data, then our graduating rate is 90%.
That's
Which
great.
means 90% of our students either have a job or migrated further into their PhD or their masters.
That's great, Akshay. So Akriti has a question. Do you accept Duolingo test? I think this is for all 3 universities.
Yes, we do. And we need 100 plus for UG application. And we are accepting Duolingo up till spring. After that, based on the quality of students who are coming in, we would be taking a call whether we'll take it for further intakes. But up till spring, we are accepting.
Okay. So University of Toledo, Mr. Joe, University of Toledo also accepts Duolingo, right?
We do accept Duolingo with a score of 95 or better.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
We accept Duolingo at UC with a 95 for some programs, and our competitive programs, we're looking for a 105.
Okay, that's great. That's great, Sarah. So, one student has a question. Can I apply only with IELTS but no SAT? I think this has already been covered in a way. But if any one of you, or maybe if you would like to address that question, can I apply only with IELTS but no SAT?
If you have a decent percentage, then at least yes, for Idaho, we do not need a mandate SAT. If someone has a decent percentage in class 12, they are good to go.
Okay. Let me take another questions. what is the possibility, this is I think this is common for all the university. What is the possibility of getting paid co-op experience for undergrad students in the, particularly I think it has already been covered, but I think what is more important is this student wants to know what is the possibility of getting co-op experience in the present context of COVID-19. That is the thing. So I think all of you can answer this question.
Anyone wants to?
Yeah, well, at the University of Toledo, each engineering discipline has their own career services office. So they will work with each individual in regards to resume writing, interview skills, dressing for success, which is really important for our students to get those co-ops different than other students. With the COVID-19, we've had some instances where students are able to do some virtual things in order to help with that co-op experience that they're earning and learning due to this COVID pandemic.
Sarah?
Yes, so our co-op is so robust and it's a required part of many of our different colleges on campus. So we obviously had to create solutions pretty quickly. We were able to move over 80% of our current co-op students that were on rotation in the spring or summer semesters in virtual co-op placements because we've had these partnerships for 30, 40, 50 years. A lot of the companies that we partner with we're able to find remote working situations. So as the situation improves in the US, we hope that we'll find more international assignments or more in-person assignments. But many of us in the US have really very quickly shifted to remote work. Many of the jobs required do not require kind of that in-person presence. And we've been able to very quickly make that shift to remote work for our co-op placement or on-campus kind of research assignments to fulfill in the short term that co-op requirement at UC.
Akshay, do you want to add anything?
It's pretty much the same. I mean, co-op is still there, but there are various segments. So there are new verticals which have come up now. Like University of Idaho is working on their own masks. So students who are there in the university, they go in and join that work. And someone who's coming in new, probably when you would start working or when you would be start looking out for co-op, things would be much better in US and across the globe. So those students who are coming in as new students, for them, I guess they can relax and they'll have ample of opportunities. By the time they would start look out for co-ops, or by the time they'll start they'll start looking out for networking. They'll have ample of better results.
Thank you, Akshay, for that. I think one question, I do not know how relevant it'll be, but I think one student has a question that, could you please brief us on the security of international students and the online classes? There have been rumors that international students who are pursuing online classes are deported, that I think there was this concern. So anything on that, if the decision has been made, I think there was this executive order from, that president, if I'm not wrong, that that international students on F1 visa cannot, take online classes. So some of the students, even if they are, planning to go, this is a kind of concern that they have on their mind. So what is the thing like right now?
So my background is in immigration. I spent my first 6 years in higher education on the immigration services side of what we do. And so right now there are actually 2 different requirements if you're a new student versus a current international student. So if you were either a current international student, you were transferring from another university, or you were transferring from another US high school, you can take a full online course enrollment structure with no issue. The problem is if you're a new international student, that is not the case. So you do still have to fulfill in-person requirements if you're a new student coming in on an initial I-20. The way we've managed that at UC is that most of our students, quite frankly, most of our students have not been able to get a visa for the semester and arrive on time. So we have a hybrid setup where most of our students, I'd say 80% chose to start online in their classes in their home country. The other 20% or so have decided to defer to the spring term. But essentially right now there are two different sets of requirements for new students and continuing international students. And the important thing for students to know is just to work with the DSO or your designated school official or your immigration or international services office to make sure you're getting the correct information, that you have everything you need when it comes time to enter into the country. It's been quite a tumultuous last few months for us as well, but I know I can speak for Akshay and Joe that here at the university, our first priority is making sure our international students are safe and welcomed and making sure they know what they need to know to continue to comply with government regulation.
Yeah, and to add on to that, in regards to the security of the online classes, majority of the universities do have already an online format where they offer programs from start to finish online. So it's not something that we had to invent just based off of the COVID. So even though that the University of Toledo has students that are starting online in the fall, in regards to security and anything like that or any concerns, a lot of our international students were happy with the format, the online platform, and just the online support that we've provided so far with our international students.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much same for us. Even for us also, there are two modules in which a person can come in for this fall. First one is the hybrid one. Second one is complete online. So someone who manages to get a date and is very keen on getting to US for this fall, they can come in for a hybrid structure. We would be running classes up till Easter, but after Easter, it would be completely online.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, everyone has their personal opinion. We are asking students to take some time, decide. Best would be to go for a spring intake if they do not want to start online. But yeah, everyone has their own choice. So we are offering both the models.
That's great. So we have got another question. I think I do not know whether any of our university here today offers filmmaking program or not. But I think the question somewhere is like, can't we do filmmaking plus IT both courses at the same time? So means, can a student take two majors at a time to graduate? I think this is primarily a question that we are prepared to answer.
We do have filmmaking, and if the person coming in for or looking in for IT and filmmaking has subjects towards PCM, then they can take in IT as well as filmmaking. They can choose which one they want to keep it as a first preference, which one they want to keep it as a second preference. But yeah, that is possible.
Okay. So I think it's only IDAHO which offers program in filmmaking. So I'm moving to the next question.
Wait.
Okay. Joe, go and say I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the University of Toledo does offer film and video as a major. Majority of our students who are in that major generally will minor in a business focus. So general management or marketing. So we do offer that, and a lot of students will minor in a business concentration.
Sarah?
At UC, we do offer filmmaking as well, but unfortunately, like you can do a film studies major and a minor in something else, but you cannot do it a double major or a major and minor in IT because IT is that 5-year required co-op program. So in general, any of our required co-op programs, there's a lot less flexibility in the course curriculum because you have such a packed schedule between doing your full course curriculum for your main major and also co-oping every other semester.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think now, the another 2-3 questions specifically is for Cincinnati, Sarah. Okay. So, hello, Sarah, would you please simplify why it is 5 years to graduate? Is there any credit for EA and ER kind of thing? So simply, why is it 5 years to graduate?
It's 5 years to graduate because 12 to 18 months, so a year to a year and a half of that, you are not actually in classes, you are not paying tuition, you are getting that required co-op experience. So you're still only estimated to spend about the same as you would spend for any 4-year program in terms of tuition dollars. But that other 12 to 18 months you're spent on work assignment. And that work assignment is seen as a core part of the curriculum. You have to participate in it if you are in a co-op required program. However, again, you're earning real world money during that time. So many of our students with an average earnings of $40,000 to $60,000 for that 12 to 18 months, many of the students actually end up paying less than they would for a typical 4-year program, because they're using that co-op earnings to then pay their tuition for the following semester. So again, it's only 4 years of actual time in the classroom. The other time is spent 12 to 18 months working. And those are only for required co-op programs. So CS, CIT in our engineering school, as well as our design school, has required co-op programs. You can participate in co-op or internship in the business school in our College of Arts and Sciences, but you can choose what types of rotations you want to do. So if you're interested in studying something other than engineering, CIT, CS, or design, you will likely have a typical 4-year curriculum and not a 5-year curriculum.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sarah. So I think there is another question for you again. What are the differences between UC Blue Ash, UC Uptown, and UC Claremont? So what are the differences?
That's a great question. So UC, again, is a very large American university. Our Uptown campus is our main campus. It has all of our student services, our residence halls, our rec centers. The vast majority of students are on our Uptown campus. However, many students and many of our international students choose to start taking courses at the Blue Ash campus if that campus has their curriculum or has their major. And the reason for that is you can live on our Uptown campus. The Blue Ash campus is about 20 minutes away, and take classes at that Blue Ash campus for 2 years. And the tuition is about half of what our Uptown campus tuition is. So if the Blue Ash campus offers your program, you can actually live on the main campus, be with all of the other students, but take a shuttle to that Blue Ash campus for the first 2 years, and you'll be spending half the amount that you would on tuition for the main campus. And most of that is because the Blue Ash campus and Claremont campus are satellite campuses, so they don't have residence halls, they don't have student services. They're more typical of what you would see as a US community college. But what you can do is still use that option to significantly reduce your tuition dollars spent by taking classes your first few years on that campus.
Okay, so you again have got another question. Is it mandatory, that to leave on campus at University of Cincinnati, that first year or maybe second year? This is the question one student.
So if you come from outside a 100-mile radius of Cincinnati, which is all international students, you have to live for their first academic year on campus. Obviously, we don't have that requirement right now during COVID, but in a normal circumstance, yes, it's mandatory to live on campus for 1 academic year.
Okay. So next question is, I would request all, the panelists to answer this question. Just to get the general idea, are we covered with any sort of health insurance once we land to the States? Don't think COVID will, leave us all soon. So that is the question kind of thing. So
we do have a component of health insurance in the I-20, and it's per year. I'm still not sure if COVID or anything related to COVID is covered under that. But as a university, if we say for the majors which we are taking to international students, is anyone coming onto campus is being tested, and if someone has symptoms, they would be quarantined on the university campus, on the university facilities. And if someone is having no symptoms, then they can move around the campus freely. I'm still not sure if anything to do with COVID is covered inside that particular insurance, but we do have an insurance as a component of I-20.
Sarah?
Yes, so you are covered from day one on a mandatory student health insurance plan. You can choose to waive your health insurance. It's not often granted for international students unless they have family already living in the US and US health insurance. We have gotten a few questions in terms of how COVID is covered, and I don't unfortunately have clear answers on that question at the moment, but I'm happy to answer that question at a later date. I think in terms of testing, it is free at the university for all students to get their COVID tests. We also have different kits, but in terms of if you were admitted to the hospital and had to have a long-term hospital stay, health insurance in the United States is infinitely complicated, and I'm just not sure exactly what our health insurance will cover at this moment in time.
Joe?
Yeah, kind of piggybacking up as Sarah, we do offer the free COVID tests for the students that do arrive to campus. For fall 2020, we did have a change where students weren't required to provide health insurance or to purchase health insurance. That will actually start spring of 2021. So as mentioned before, students can come with insurance already in hand by family. And we do have student health insurance plans. We do have a policy that all student athletes must have health insurance, and it's strongly recommended for the insurance plans for students in a health and human service or medical type program.
Okay. So one question, do you provide any need-based scholarship? That is one question. Anybody can answer.
We do have, but it's more for those students who are already on campus. We do have a need-based scholarship.
Sarah?
We have, it's the same, we do not have we're what's called need blind in terms of admission. So we do not take need into account when scholarshiping for new students. We do have substantial funding for emergency need-based funding for current students. So it's more, my mom or dad lost my job, or, you know, emergency situations where we want to help our international students, of course, stay enrolled.
Okay. Joe, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, kind of piggybacking everybody. There's, you know, small amounts of need-based scholarship, especially with the result of COVID. A majority of the scholarships will be merit-based, but we do have small opportunities for need-based based off of the COVID situation.
Okay, so this question is for Sarah. If we go to UC Blue Ash or UC Claremont, we still have the same curriculum, right? Especially for co-op program.
So the one thing to keep in mind that you have to factor in when you're looking at those satellite campuses, they do not offer all of the same classes and majors that our main campus does. So for things like psychology, English literature, some of the bigger programs that are based in our arts and sciences college, they will be offered at UC Blue Ash. We do not encourage any students that want to participate in a co-op required course like our College of Engineering programs or our College of Design programs. We do not recommend they start at UC Blue Ash because those programs are incredibly competitive to get into, and they do not, there's no guarantee that you can start at Blue Ash and transition to those selective colleges. So unfortunately, the answer is, if you're in a co-op required program or you're in a highly selective admissions program at UC, UC Blue Ash is not a great option for you. You should be looking mainly at main campus.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so what are the minimum grades of A-levels? I think this is very, very specific, but I think this is related with the admissions, but still I'd like to read this question. What are the minimum grades of A-levels for the University of Cincinnati in engineering program, architecture engineering? If that answer is ready, otherwise I think we can, this is very specific, that's why. So I think we can do it later. Sarah,
it is not. We, you know, like probably some of my colleagues, we are very holistic at Cincinnati. There's not going to be a minimum A-level requirement or a minimum AP or IB score that will get you course credit at UC. So we're looking primarily at your course curriculum. Do you have a solid background in math, in science, especially your calculus, your chemistry, that kind of stuff? But there's no clear-cut answer in terms of A-levels, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know that. And you know, I think 2 questions. This is very, very important for all the student to know is, how safe will it be to travel and study in 21 intakes, whether it is spring or fall? And what are the universities doing to welcome international students? I think partly, I think you have answered the question. So how are, you know, the university, how can students or the students' parents be, you know, they can be convinced that, you know, yeah, sending my child or, you know, going to United States, it's going to be, you know, safe, or maybe, you know, so that kind of, you know, so what is the thing like? I think we can start with Joe this time around. I think Joe, we would like to start with you, and then, you know.
Yeah, I think, you know, right now with the International Student Services office that we have in place, we feel that we have very strong support for our students. I think from a parent point of view is just, getting in front of the parents in similar venues like this, whether it's Zoom meetings, WebEx. This week and last week, my WhatsApp, FaceTime calls were crazy with parents just asking general questions about what's going to happen for fall, what's the expectations for spring. So, spring right now is an unknown, based off of the embassies and things like that. So I think just being open, transparent, available for the parents to ensure that their students will be safe. At the University of Toledo, I'm sure as other colleges have this service, we'll go to the airports close to Toledo and Detroit to pick up their students for safe arrival to campus. Our housing offices are open 24/7. So if students arrive later in the evening, we'll have staff there to assist our students. So we get a lot of parents that will actually come with students. So they like that service, that the fact that we have somebody on campus to be there for their children and for themselves. So just the openness of communication with the parents, with the students, and providing them the information to make sure that they feel safe in sending their students to the United States.
Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is it's not an answer anyone wants to hear, but the reality is for spring 2021 and fall 2021 intake, right now, we just don't know. A lot will depend on kind of the way COVID continues along the US. We are encouraged that around the world, US embassies have begun scheduling visa appointments. So many of our students outside of the US have been able to secure visa appointments in late August, September, or October, especially in South Asia. And so we're just kind of playing it by ear. I can say that in spring 2021, I would highly expect that we will continue with some kind of hybrid format with a significantly enhanced number of our classes remaining online. We'll have to see what the US government says about continuing on its kind of current immigration policy from fall to spring 2021. But I can say at UC and at most US universities, we are trying to work around the clock with not only our partners like Krishna around the world, but at UC we have 3 global offices. So we have an office in China, an office in Mumbai, and an office in Vietnam. And we are working with parents and students every day. I think I wake up to about 50 WhatsApp messages. So the biggest thing is communicate with us, ask us your questions. We will try, we want you on campus, but we want to do it in a safe way. And so until we kind of see how the situation plays out, we're going to continue to recommend what we feel is safest for our international student population.
Akshay?
I'm more positive on the note that for spring, what I believe is we would be having normal classes, and let's see how things roll out. But yes, US Embassy is opening up, though it was last minute, but opening up was a positive move. And they have even revoked the ban on H1B. So everything has started to get back to normal, which is a positive sign. And I'm hopeful that by spring, we would be having regular classes.
And one thing that I do want to add that Akshay kind of brings up that I didn't mention is it's really important to work directly with or communicate directly or understand the colleges that you're interested in and what their own policies are. A university like the University of Idaho that is not in a huge city, and Idaho, I'm sure, does not have the kind of caseloads that we see in California, Arizona, or Texas. They may be able to go a different route than a lot of other universities that are in urban centers that are very large or that are in places where there are huge COVID caseloads. So you will see different universities across the US taking different approaches based on really what is happening in their city, in their locality. So it's possible that if you would like to join in spring 2021, that may be an option for some campuses and not others. It's really a wait and see.
Thank you, Sarah. So I think I have to close, but before that, just one last question. I'm concerned if I want to take an online course now because of uncertainties involved in visa. what would you advise? I think, I mean, all of you can answer this question. Akshay, you can start.
Okay, so it's more of person to person, but if someone is really willing or thinks that they can take up the online classes, they can give their exams online, they can, because see, especially for South Asia, if we talk about the countries, we, even when I was a student, we were not that much into online education. For everything, for us, everything was go into the class, study with 40 students, look into the blackboard, take your notes. That was how. And I was a backbencher, so taking notes, we can omit that part, but other parts were there. Going to the class was there. So everyone can't easily settle down with the online, like looking into the laptop, taking down the notes and studying virtually. If someone feels yes, they can easily take up that challenge, then yes, please go for online. Because if I'm not wrong, all three of us are offering a discounted rate for online classes. If you feel that no, going into US and studying physically is something which I want to do, then I would recommend take defer to spring and come in for spring intake. But yes, if you're taking online classes, then my personal opinion is it would strengthen your visa chances, because you are showing to the visa officer that your main focus going to US was study, and you were so focused that you were even willing to take online classes. So if you'll ask my opinion, if you're ready to take that challenge up, it will strengthen your visa chances. It will not hamper your chances. But if you want to enjoy that US surrounding, then defer for spring.
Joe?
Yeah, so again, it's personal preference in regards to the online. I think with COVID that hit in March, it made universities, colleges, and schools across the world kind of look at online learning as a different form of education. I think we're trying to be as creative as we can to have that personal feel from the instructors and faculty, whether it's remote live instruction, recorded lectures from the various instructors that are teaching the courses. And really, I guess it really just depends on the area of the world. We have a large number of African students that apply to the university, but unfortunately their internet connection really can't support a online platform. So those students would have to then make the decision to come to campus just because they don't have the reliable resources of the internet connection in their area.
Sarah?
Yeah, so I think I'd piggyback off what Akshay said. I know with our South Asian students, visa is always a concern. For many of our programs at UC, it really benefits you to start online because we've established the course curriculum in a certain way, and we're also discounting tuition. So all of our international students studying online in the fall are paying in-state tuition, which is approximately half of what out-of-state tuition or non-resident tuition is. In terms of obtaining a visa, I said the exact same thing as Akshay. Most of the visa denials that I've seen in the past, especially from South Asia, are that consistent, failed to prove non-immigrant intent. And so for us, when you can say, look, I've already taken online courses, here's my paid bill, I'm committed to this university and I've already put financial incentive into being committed to that university, I can't think of anything stronger that would show that you are coming to the US to be a student and to study, and you are committed to the university you've chosen. So we are hoping we do not see visa issues for our students that choose to study online in the fall. And again, most of our students have made that choice, but we respect students who said, you know, I'd rather wait until spring semester as well. So it comes down to your personal choice and personal opinion. Financially, though, there's some great savings involved if you're at a university that has scholarships or discounted tuition during this time, which UC does. So.
I think that brings us to the end of this beautiful session. So I thank you so much, all of you, all three of you, and I thank all the students for listening us so patiently. I think we were able to clear some doubts that you had in your mind, and if you still have some questions, you can get back to us, or maybe you can you can even get back to me, and if you want to talk to university representative, university representative directly, and you can do that as well. So I thank you all of you I thank you so much for taking out time and making this session very, very useful and